We knew the Red Sox had some really big decisions to make. Well, it looks like they finally have. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Red Seat Radio. My name is Corbin. The Red Sox rotation has been one of the most talked about and controversial subjects surrounding the Boston Red Sox so far throughout 2023. Currently, the Red Sox have been rocking a 6-man rotation, but we all knew that wasn't going to last forever, and the latest conversation surrounding the rotation was, who's the odd man out? Well, Alex Cora today dropped a bomb on the radio that stated that there were going to be some big changes coming to this rotation. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be breaking down the latest news surrounding the Red Sox rotation, what it means for each individual player in this rotation, and what it means for the Red Sox in general. But before we get into that, just a heads up, right around 7:30 p.m. Eastern time tonight, we are going to go live and have a bit of a pregame analysis type thing for the Red Sox and as they kick off the finale of this Angels series. We obviously aren't going to stay up the entirety of the game, but we're going to preview the game. We're going to talk about the Red Sox latest struggles. I'm going to answer any questions you guys have regarding the Red Sox or baseball in general. This is going to be a ton of fun. It's the first time we're doing this, so if you guys haven't been to one yet, I highly recommend stopping on by. Again, that is 7:30 p.m. Eastern time on this channel. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one. Let's get into it. So the big news came out. Alex Cora was on an interview with WEEI. It was Gresh and Fourier, and they were sort of talking about the rotation in general when Alex Cora sort of casually mentioned that the Red Sox are planning on moving Corey Kluber to the bullpen. That's right, Corey Kluber is moving to this Red Sox bullpen. Alex Cora said they were kind of waiting to see how they were going to shape in this 5-man rotation finally. After the Tanner Houck start was kind of where they were going to make their decision. So Tanner Houck's start really was a very important start for Houck and his ability to stay in this rotation, and Tanner Houck showed up. He ended up going 6 innings, allowing just 1 run on 3 hits while striking out 8 total batters. That officially moved his season ERA down to 4.99 and his FIP down to 3.83. Basically, Tanner Houck played himself in that game and really all season long. Obviously wasn't just that game, but that game was a really important deciding factor into whether or not he was going to the bullpen or they were going to have to make other moves. And with Tanner Houck showing up, it made sense for Corey Kluber to go to the bullpen. And I can't imagine this was an all too difficult decision for this Red Sox management, right? I feel like even if Tanner Houck had a bit of a stinker in that game, it was still a pretty easy decision to send Corey Kluber to the bullpen. So far this year, Corey Kluber has been by far and away the most inconsistent and worst statistical pitcher on this Red Sox pitching staff. He currently has a 6.26 ERA with a really poor 6.59 FIP, meaning that he's not getting unlucky on the mound. He's just not pitching well right now. He also had a 74 ERA plus and was in the midst of his worst season control wise since 2019. His walk rate was the second highest it has been in his entire career. Not to mention, things only looked like they were going to get worse. It didn't look like he was progressing throughout the year. It looked like he was regressing, and statistics back that up. Because if you take a look at his expected statistic percentiles, right? His expected statistics are some of the worst in baseball. His expected ERA is in the 14th percentile, his expected batting average is in the 27th percentile, and his expected slugging is in just the 10th percentile. Basically, what that means is right now, with Corey Kluber's current numbers, he's actually performing better than what his contact he's giving up would normally allow. Basically saying that Corey Kluber's 6+ ERA is actually a bit lucky and it should be much higher, which is absolutely insane to say. So yeah, based on everything we've seen so far this year, it really does make a ton of sense for Corey Kluber to take a step back from this rotation and let guys like Paxton, Sale, Bayo, Whitlock, and Houck really try and settle in and bring some consistency to this starting rotation, something that lately we've had a little bit more of, but overall throughout the entire season has not really been there. So to me, the decision to take Corey Kluber out of the rotation makes sense, but where they're putting Kluber makes a lot less sense. while removing Corey Kluber from this rotation makes a ton of sense to me, the move to put him into the bullpen's a little bit less clear for me. Because on one hand, right, Corey Kluber has had a really storied, successful career at the major league level, and not just success 10, 5, 8 years ago. We're talking success last year as well. He's not that far removed from being a successful major league pitcher. The Red Sox have paid him $10 million, and in a year where you're not going over the luxury tax, $10 million is a bit bigger than it normally should be. And 3, when you're looking at this Red Sox rotation, there are now a lot of key guys after this kind of dust settles with Pivetta and Kluber that have had histories with injuries, right? Sale, obviously. Paxton, obviously. Whitlock, of course, right? These are guys who are now going to be huge pieces in your rotation with a history of injuries. And the last thing you want is to lose a depth piece like Corey Kluber right now and then get a couple of injuries to this rotation. You don't really know what you're going to do. On top of that, too, putting him into the bullpen could motivate him to get back to what he was last year. Maybe being in the bullpen allows him to really hone in on pitch to pitch, inning to inning, and he sort of figures out what was wrong with his command, because that was the biggest problem by far and away for Kluber this year. So on one hand, going to the bullpen seems like it makes a ton of sense, but on the other hand here, when you're talking about Corey Kluber going to the bullpen, I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to have a heart attack every time he comes out of the bullpen. I don't care if the game's 12-2 Red Sox or 12-2 Orioles, right? We're still going to be like, oh boy, here we go, right? Because Corey Kluber, before he went in as a starter, was throwing 86 miles an hour. How much higher is that going to play in the bullpen? You're probably looking at 87, 88 miles an hour top exit velo. That might not play that well coming out of the bullpen. On top of that, too, he's also going to be taking away a major league roster spot from someone who could be giving you those higher leverage innings that Corey Kluber probably just won't give you, because in reality, Corey Kluber's not going to be this high leverage 8th inning, we got to get to the 9th inning to get Kenley up type pitcher. He's going to be the type of pitcher that you come in when Chris Sale comes out and he doesn't have a feel for his slider and gives up 4 runs in 2 innings, and you just got to make it through the 6th inning, right? Or James Paxton has a little bit of a bad day. Maybe his hip is bothering him or his hamstring is bothering him a little bit. So precautionarily, you take him out. In comes Corey Kluber. He's going to be in that mop-up role, and that mop-up role is fine, but that roster spot could have been used for a much more reliable pitcher. So it's kind of a murky waters for me in terms of whether or not I agree with the Red Sox moving him to the bullpen. I still think the best solution for Corey Kluber would have been to put him on the 15-day IL and given him the maximum amount of time off the field. Maybe send him down to Fort Myers. Maybe you let him work out with trainers here in Boston, see if you can fix him before you move him to the bullpen. But hey, either way, I'm not complaining, because right now, Corey Kluber is not in this Red Sox rotation. I think it makes this rotation better as a whole. I also figured that DFAing Corey Kluber just really wasn't in the cards already. We kind of talked about the reasons why when I was talking about why I was okay with him going to the bullpen. I think the Red Sox are just not ready to give up on him this early, so a move to the bullpen could have partially something to do with that as well. But I still think the Phantom IL makes the most sense. Either way, like I said, I do think this rotation is better off with Corey Kluber not in it at the moment. That doesn't mean later in the season, if Corey Kluber doesn't figure something out, he can be put back into this rotation. I just think for right now, you got to let the young kids play. You got to let Bayo keep doing what Bayo's been doing. You got to keep letting Tanner Houck try and fight through those 5th, 4th, and 6th innings, see if you can figure something out. And you need to see what you have in Garrett Whitlock before you start giving up on any of these guys. So to me, this Corey Kluber move made a ton of sense, but let me know in the comment section down below. 1, what did you think of Corey Kluber being removed from this rotation? What do you think about that? Do you like it? Do you not like it? What do you think about the Red Sox putting their faith in Tanner Houck in the starting rotation? And 3, what do you think of Corey Kluber moving to the bullpen? Let me know all your thoughts on the latest Red Sox moves in the comment section down below. As always, if you made it to the end of this video, do me a favor. Make sure you guys have hit that like and subscribe button. Doing both of those helps these videos out a ton. It would mean a lot to me. Plus, if you're a Sox fan, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, don't forget we are going to be live tonight at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time for a couple hours before the Red Sox take on the Angels. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one, and I will see you in the Red Seats.